welcome to RumbieTalks. It's your girl Rumbie sharing with you all things healing and hustling. Today I'm coming to you with a video about why 2020 is still your year. Let me tell you this. I know I sound crazy when I say this. I know you probably have been hearing this from other people. You're probably looking at them like, what fairy tale are you living on? Clearly this is not going to be our year, but I need you to listen to me carefully and I need you to pay close attention to this video and make sure you do all the things that I tell you to do in this video, because here's what's going to happen at the end of 2020. There's going to be two groups of people. Number one, there's going to be the group of people that succeeded despite coronavirus, right? There's also going to be the second group of people who are the people that did not succeed because of coronavirus. Now, I need you to take a good think which group you want to belong to. If you would like to belong to the group of the people that failed because of coronavirus, please hit exit. However, if you're one of those people that are sitting in right now and listening to me talk and thinking, you know what, I want to make sure that I'm part of the people that are going to turn around and say, wow, 2020 was crazy, but I made it. You have to be able to understand this, that before a great victory comes and can be celebrated, a great fall must come. But I genuinely believe that we are about to be elevated to another realm of excellence, and it's up to you to be able to see into that potential of the current situation. Number one, I need you to step back into the shoes of your purpose, because we all know when you are driven by purpose, your mind becomes open to all the ways that you can literally win every single battle that you come across. I need you at some point this week, I want you to take some time to yourself, to sit in a quiet place. You can meditate, you can pray, you can zone out, you can listen to music, you can chant, whatever helps you to get into a space of calmness and zone out everything else in the world. That's the first step that I need you to do. Now, when you're sitting in this place, I want you to think about your reality. As much as it's going to suck for you to do this, I want you to do it because there is power in speaking out our reality. I'm not talking about sitting there and thinking, well, nah, this sucks. Oh my God, this is so horrible. No, I actually want you to think in that moment what your reality is. If your reality is that you just lost a job, I actually want you to say it loudly. I lost my job and it sucks. Why am I saying that? So often we are tied to the things that hurt us. We are tied to the things that we're experiencing because we refuse to actually let go of those things. Now, here's what happens when you do that. Here's what happens when you speak out loudly about your reality. You let go. Think about this. Anytime that you're in a situation and you allow yourself to face up to the reality of it, you suddenly feel like you can let it go. It suddenly doesn't look as big of a mountain as you thought it did before. Why? It's because you've allowed yourself, you've given yourself permission to call it exactly what it is. Where our hopes and dreams die is when we refuse to tell ourselves the truth about our current situations. So if you're losing money, I want you to sit there and say, man, I lost $20,000 this week because of coronavirus and it sucks. I need you to actually give yourself permission to say these things as loudly as possible. Here's the second thing that I need you to do. After you've given yourself permission to grieve the reality of COVID-19, I want you to get back into your place of clarity. I want you to tap back into your positivity. I want you to think about yourself at the beginning of this year. Think about how excited you were to go for your goals. Think about all the promises you made to yourself when you said, this year we're going to hustle, this year we're going to do A, B, C, and D. I want you to tap into that energy and use that energy to create a new plan for yourself, to create a new vision for you for 2020. Now that you've tapped into that creativity and excitement that you had in 2020, I want you to give yourself permission to dream again. Here's what we're trying to do in this moment. We're trying to make sure that our subconscious mind and our conscious mind can meet and agree agree to the old reality and let it go, and also birth a new reality. So what I want you to do is to begin to speak into the positivity of your current situation. Now, you probably lost a job this week. I'm not asking you, and nobody should be asking you to walk around and say, well, I don't care about the job, it's okay, I'm not sad. You are sad because that's the reality of losing something that really mattered to you. But here's the positivity to that. The positivity to losing a job is you now have time to either start the business that you couldn't start before because of your job. You now have time to look for a different job. I know a lot of us are not going to be able to work for quite some months, but here's the thing. There are literally industries today that are thriving because of the coronavirus. And this is what you have to tap into. No matter what you go through in life, no matter how terrible it is, you have to understand that even in the worst and the darkest times, there is opportunity that is literally lurking there and waiting for you to tap into it. So this is what we want to do. I want you to give yourself permission to recognize the new opportunity that has now been presented to you. So like the example that we used before, you're going to say to yourself, well, I lost my job and it sucks. Now, what I want you to say is, I lost my job, it sucks, but I now have a new opportunity for me to get another job that excites me. Why am I saying it like that? When we present opportunities to ourselves and also understand the value of the new opportunity, it makes it much easier for us to run with it. You have to understand this. When you present an opportunity to your subconscious mind, an opportunity to your conscious mind, and they marry, they begin to work effectively together for them to create that reality for you. I know somebody is thinking, talking to yourself sounds weird. It really doesn't. Go out and do some research on it. There is literally so much research, so much compounded research that supports the fact that when we speak things out loudly to ourselves, it becomes our reality. We bring our subconscious mind to the same level as our conscious mind. Why is that important? Because the minute that you start saying things, you're literally seeding it. So now what you want to do is to seed new opportunities for you to make money. You want to seed new opportunities for you to get a job right now that could make you happy. It's important for you to speak about your new reality using words that actually affirm the positivity of the shift. Anytime you allow yourself a moment to recenter, anytime you begin to speak to yourself in that way, affirming the positivity of the situation, you're allowing your mind to create a new reality according to what's happening. And that's the shift that is really going to make sure that 2020 is still your year out. Here's the third thing that I want you to do. Remember at the beginning of the year, I showed you guys, if you came to my workshop, I showed you guys how to do vision boards. Now it's time for you to take your vision boards, right? And tear them up. We're only tearing them up because they're a reflection of what we thought the year was going to go. So there are things on your vision board that no longer going to go hand in hand with the current situation. That's why I need you to grab your vision board, grab your goal, wherever you wrote your goal list, right? And tear it up. I want you to physically break up with your 2020 goals. That way you can allow yourself to freely create new goals without feeling guilty. It doesn't mean that we're not going to do any of that stuff that we talked about. Some of the stuff we're just going to have to find new ways of doing it. For example, you wanted to start a side hustle in 2020 and all of a sudden you're hearing this business is closing down, the economy is bad, and you're thinking, well, how in the world am I going to create a side hustle in such an economy? Remember what I said before? There are literally industries today that are making more money than everybody else simply because they're actually thriving during COVID-19. You need to still stick to your idea of finding a side hustle. But now, only difference now is you need to be thinking, I want to do this as a business, but how am I going to make sure it works in the current situation that we're in? A lot of people have had to take their businesses online. Why? People still want to make money. There's 100 million ways of making money, okay? There's 100 ways of doing one thing. So look again at your business idea, look again at your goals and think, okay, of all these goals, which ones can I still do, but do them in a different way? And I can guarantee you, if you do that, you're going to find you might actually not need to get rid of all your goals. You're going to find there is still a chance for you to make sure that this year is your year. One thing that I want you to do, which is also going to be the last thing that I'm going to be talking about in this video, is I want you using that newfound peace in knowing that things are still going to work out. It's okay. 2020 is still your year. Using that new fresh flow of creativity that you've tapped into, I want you to allow yourself to sit down and dream again. Let's be honest, whenever people fail, whenever people go through what we're experiencing, it's very, very hard to feel hopeful again. It's very, very hard to think, well, I can now achieve this, right? But I want you to believe this. You opened yourself up to new opportunities. There was no point of having done all that if you're not going to allow yourself to dream again. So I want you to make another vision board or a goal list, whatever floats your boat. But I want you to put your vision once again on paper according to the new reality that we're now facing in 2020, and now the new flow of creativity, the new opportunities that you're now looking into. I want you to give yourself permission to dream again, and I want you to write those dreams. I want you to write those goals. I want you to write that vision, and I also want you to then go right ahead and create that new strategy plan. Listen, last week I was very, very, very anxious and very, very sad because I genuinely felt as though this year I had come up with my best master plan, and all of a sudden within 3 weeks I had to cancel all our calendar events. I had to cancel on some of my clients, some of the things that I'd now been booked to do, some of the projects that I was now supposed to do. I was all of a sudden getting phone calls being told, oh hey, we're going to have to wait on that, we're going to have to wait on that. So immediately I'm thinking my money and how much I thought I was going to make this year is going down. This year was my year to prove myself. It was my year to go out there and show the world that Rumbie can do this. Now, last week I took some time apart for myself to find my spark again. I needed to find my place of opportunity. And trust me, when I came out of that, when I started doing my strategy plan again, when I redid my vision board, I all of a sudden saw, hey, I can still do it this year. This is not the year that I should be sitting down and giving up because now it looks much harder. This is actually the year where I can prove to myself that this is what I'm meant to do. So I want you to allow yourself to dream, to go ahead and write that strategy plan and to start implementing it in your life. Remember, at the end of the day, right? All that needs to be done is your best. That's all. That's all. All that needs to be done is your best. As long as you're doing your best, you are going to succeed. As long as you're doing your best, 2020 is going to be your year. Also remember, there are literally 100 ways to do one thing. All you need to find this year is one way of doing the thing that you were wanting to do. So if you're looking at something, I gave the example of businesses before. If you're looking at your side hustle and you're thinking, man, I don't know how I'm going to do this side hustle, I need you to take a step back, breathe, recenter yourself, come back to it and look at all the other different ways you could potentially make. Thank you so much for joining me today. I will see you next Monday where I will be motivating you, reminding you all the ways that you can make sure that 2020 is your year.